Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. Wind barely doing anything. Temperatures, probably in the mid to upper 70s at this point. As we enjoy the final few days of summer, let's look in on the Milwaukee Brewers Southwest starting lineup. As Bob mentioned, he opened it pretty good offensively, 5th in the National League in runs. Lopez at second, Craig Counsell, the veterans, at short. Casey McGee hitting third because Ryan Braun is getting a night off. Prince Fielder, we talked about him earlier. Cameron, Garrett, Kendall, some veterans. Also Frank Catalanato in left for Braun, and Jeff Suppan will hit ninth.
The all-F outfield for the Cubs tonight. Fox, Fuld, and Fukudome left to right. Ramirez at third base. Terrio at shortstop. Jeff Baker at second base. Big Derek Lee down at first base. Giovanni Soto, who's been red hot lately with the bat, will be behind the plate today for right-hander Ryan Dempster. Mentioned his victory over the Pirates last time out. His team put 8 straight hits together to start the top half of the first inning. Gave him a 7-0 lead, and his charge was just to throw strikes, and he did that.
First pitch of the night put in play, and it's a ground ball out. Lopez retired by Jeff Baker. Pretty good pace for Dempster. 1 pitch, 1 out.
27 pitch complete game.
Hunter Wendelstedt will call the balls and strikes. Dana DeMuth, a veteran at first, is a crew chief. Doug Eddings and Brian Knight are at second and third respectively, as Craig Counsell takes ball one. 76 degrees. The wind is out of the east at 1.
Buckle your chin strap. Might blow your hat off tonight.
It is blowing in. Bouncer to Ramirez. 3 pitches, 2 outs for Dempster. Now Casey McGee, a Rookie of the Year candidate and a former Cub. A reminder, tonight's telecast is presented in beautiful high definition, sponsored by Comcast.
Casey McGee's been one of the Brewers' hottest hitters over the last 7 ball games. He's 7 for 18 with a couple of homers, 7 runs driven in. Also the guy in the on-deck circle. Big Prince Fielder's been hot lately.
Strike one on Casey McGee. Look at those numbers. 2-homer game over the weekend at Arizona. He's had a big year against the Cubs, hitting .500. 10 for 20 with a homer and 6 RBIs. Five of those RBIs came here on July 4th. And he hits one high and deep the other way. Fukudome is going to have some room right at the edge of the track. That's a 6th pitch, first inning for Ryan Dempster. The Cubs are coming up against Jeff Suppan. Dempster went 1-2-3 against the Brewers. Here's how the Cubs will line up, brought to you by Southwest. Ryan Theriot got the day off yesterday. He'll lead it off. Fukudome's in right for Milton Bradley. Derek Lee putting together an excellent year. So is Aramis Ramirez when he's been healthy. Soto hitting fifth. He's been in a great stretch. Jake Fox back in there. Hasn't started in a while. Baker, Fold, and Dempster 7, 8, and 9.
Take a look at the Brewers defensively. As Len mentioned, no Ryan Braun in left field tonight. Instead, Frank Catalanato will get the start out there. Cameron in center. Garrett over in right field. McGee, Counsell, Lopez, and Fielder across the infield. The veteran Jason Kendall behind the plate today for a fellow veteran, right-hander Jeff Suppan. 66 walks against 65 strikeouts this season. Righties and lefties beating on him at an equal pace this year.
Yeah, and it goes without saying that is pretty bad strikeouts to walks ratio. You mentioned it earlier this week or last week. You'd like to be at least 2-to-1 strikeouts to walks, and he actually has one more walk than punch-outs. 2-0 on Ryan Theriot. Suppan actually was their opening day starter, but it's been a tough year for the veteran. 2-1.
You know, the word you keep hearing when you mention Jeff Suppan is he's an inning eater, and he does that. He's a guy that will give you innings. He's not always the most effective starting pitcher, but he will work deep into ball games. Pitch count is not really much of a factor with him on most occasions. It's usually a performance factor. If he's getting guys out, Ken Macha will use him late into the ball game. If he struggles, he may get pulled real early tonight.
Making his 26th start of the year. He is 0-2 in 3 outings against the Cubs.
And you saw there, even on the 3-1 pitch to Ryan Theriot, he's still going to try to hit corners at the knees. He's not a guy that can afford to challenge the middle of that strike zone very often.
And it's outside. A leadoff walk to start it.
There's a saying when you talk about starting pitchers that he doesn't give in to the hitter. Well, Suppan doesn't give in to the strike zone very often. He figures on those 2-0, 3-1 counts, the hitters are going to be overly aggressive. He tries to nibble even more in those counts.
Fukudome batting with a runner on and nobody out. If you go back to last year, even though Brewers had some struggles late in the year, costing Ned Yost his job before they did win the wild card. I mean, a guy like Jeff Suppan, even the young Giovanni Gallardo, these guys were supporting cast members. It was CC Sabathia when Ben Sheets was healthy. They were at the top, but Sabathia really carried everybody. This year they've asked young Gallardo to do it, Suppan to do it, Braden Looper to do it. While Looper has 12 wins and so does Gallardo. I mean, Giovanni Gallardo, Bob, 12-11 with a 3.59. That's really good, but is that your number one starter? If they had a guy like Sabathia, I think they'd be in a lot better shape in the division. Everybody would be better with CC Sabathia.
I was just going to say
that was a huge loss.
No question about it. And to a lesser extent, Ben Sheets, a guy who's been plagued by injuries throughout his career, but when healthy was a very effective number 2 starter behind CC Sabathia.
The 1-0 to Fukudome is low. And then you compare Milwaukee's staff to, say, the Cubs with Ted Lilly, who's put together an excellent year. Randy Wells has come out of nowhere, but veterans Dempster and Zambrano and Harden. And then the Cardinal rotation. I mean, it's tough to top that. Ground ball to second. Lopez, Counsell, and a fielder, and it's a double play. And just like that, 2 outs and nobody on, and Derek Lee coming up.
Good pitch to hit there for Kosuke. Just rolled over it. Hits that easy ground ball to second base. Taylor made double play for the Brewers. And you have to believe that Ken Macha and the Brewers like to have Derek Lee at the plate with nobody on base. That is a similar situation that the Cubs are looking for tonight with Prince Fielder. Try to limit the damage.
Derek with 6 homers his last 9 games, and he's had good success against Suppan. .429 average against Suppan with 7 doubles and 4 homers. 49 at bats. Pitchers strike 1 and 1. Bounced foul.
I touched on it briefly earlier. Suppan will sink his fastball. He'll cut it for a big rolling curveball. Not really a snapdragon curveball, but it just kind of rolls up there. He'll mix in some sliders and some straight changeups the second time through the batting order. That's usually when he runs into his problems. He's been pretty good the first time through opposing lineups, but that second and third time really get him.
A 1-2 to Lee is outside, and it's 2-2. As calm as you'll ever see it here at Wrigley Field. Again, the wind at 1 mile an hour. Just extremely pleasant. The kind of night you almost expect a roof to be over top the ballpark. But if that's the case, it's very blue.
Like that one hotel we stayed at in Vegas one year. Was it the Venetian that has a sky painted on the ceiling? Makes you feel like you're outdoors even when you're indoors.
I feel like I'm in the Truman Show. Ball 4. He's walked 2 in the inning. We'll bring up Aramis Ramirez. And prior to tonight's game, Mike Dexter of Edward Jones Investments presented the Edward Jones Player of the Month Award to Aramis Ramirez for his outstanding play in the month of July. Visit your local Chicagoland Edward Jones Investments and make sense of your investing. Up the middle, not hit very hard, and Lopez can't get it on the backhand. Everybody's safe. And for Aramis, he is now 8 out of 11 on the homestand.
Now, most of the other 7 were hit harder than this. He got jammed a little bit by Jeff Suppan, but hit it in a great location just to the left of the bag at second base. By the time Lopez gets over there, all he can do is knock it down. They all count.
Giovanni Soto rewarded for his recent prowess at the plate by batting 5th tonight. He's had at least 2 RBIs in each of his last 4 games. Strike 1. Gio's sitting on 99 career extra base hits. In the dirt. Cubs picked up a couple of games on St. Louis over the weekend. They're still a very distant 9.5 out. The Cardinals are hosting the Florida Marlins after getting swept at home by the Atlanta Braves. Todd Wellemeyer will go for the Cardinals tonight against Ricky Nolasco. Foul tip, strike 2.
It's that time of year when it gets a little confusing who you're supposed to root for on a given evening. Cubs are a couple of games behind the Marlins in the wild card standing, so could make the argument that we need the Cardinals to beat the Fish.
Up in the air, right center as Cameron drifts over. Easy play, and that's the 3rd out. 2 walks, an infield hit, no runs. No score after 1.
another 3 weeks or a month before he goes home, and I think it's an advantage for him also.
That's a manager on Alfonso Soriano, whose season is over officially. Hit .241 in 117 games with 20 homers and 55 knocked in. So he's already getting a head start on 2010. And like Derek Lee, in terms of how the Brewers attack him in this series, Ryan Dempster likes facing Prince Fielder with nobody on. It's pulled foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. With his next RBI, he'll set a Brewers franchise single season record right now, 126, tied with Cecil Cooper back in 1983. 1-2 on Fielder, who leads the majors in RBIs.
Most teams try to attack Prince Fielder inside, hard in, soft away. Try to get that fastball in on his hands, maybe back him off the plate with the sinker, try to catch the inside corner. Just avoid that area up and out over the plate where he can extend those big arms. This guy just doesn't get cheated. He takes a home run swing every time he lets it go.
Three-two pitch. One with a slider. It was just off the inside corner. So now Fielder needs just 6 walks to break the Brewers record with 99 in a season. Jeremy Burnitz back in 2000. In a lot of ways, I think the walks and the RBIs go hand in hand. The more RBIs you get, the more walks you're going to get. So Dempster threw 6 pitches to get 3 outs in the first, and threw 6 pitches to Prince Fielder to start this inning.
That's another effect of a quality hitter in the middle of the lineup. Really anywhere in the lineup, you force that opposing pitcher to pitch a little more carefully. Ball looks like it's going to reach the seats on the first base side. Yeah, you just don't want to make a mistake to a guy like Prince Fielder, or in the Brewers case, a guy like Derek Lee, because you know if you make a mistake over the plate, it got a real good chance of ending up in the bleachers.
I think another way to look at that at bat in the first inning is that by kind of saving up his bullets with that real quick first inning, Dempster knew that, even if he worked around Fielder, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. But he's got to get Cameron here. Looks like he will, as Fukudome will make the catch. Down the right field line, 1 out.
We heard it a lot more last season from Ryan Dempster, but I'm sure he adheres to the same philosophy this year. Inning management. And you bring up a great point. Low pitch count in the first inning, was able to cruise through the first 3 Brewers hitters with 6 pitches. Well, that gave him the opportunity here starting the second inning to pitch Prince Fielder a little more carefully, even if that meant throwing more pitches than he had in the first inning. But then you get right back in the saddle and go after the next hitter.
And that next hitter is Jody Garrett, who was very briefly a Cub a few years ago, and he fouls it back. They got him from San Diego in exchange for Tony Gwynn Jr. earlier this year. Garrett is in right. Corey Hart is back on the active roster and hasn't been playing every day because coming back from an emergency appendectomy.
And not to mention the fact that Corey Hart is 2 for 23 lifetime against Ryan Dempster. That's an .087 batting average, and Ken Maka trying to pick his spots to incorporate Corey Hart back into the lineup.
Old foul past first. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think we ever saw Jody Garrett at full strength with the Cubs back in 2005. Just 11 games, 2 starts, and he went 1 for 14. And he did not play the following year because of right knee surgery. He was in the Pittsburgh organization.
I had a chance to see Jody Garrett in interleague play back in 2003 when, as a rookie, he hit .279 with 22 homers and 75 runs driven in. Really looked like an up-and-coming star in this game, but has just had a series of knee injuries that have really curtailed his career.
Dempster's 2-2 is smothered by Soto. Full count, 3-2. Either team runs a whole lot, and if Ken Maka has some action here, it'll be to stay out of a double play. Fielder does go, and it's fouled back.
If he can get a swing and a miss from Jody Garrett, you're looking at an easy strike him out, throw him out with Prince Fielder. He had a very, very short lead that time over at first base. A late break towards second. Of course, the key to that is getting the swing and the miss at home plate.
Fielder goes again, and a tapper on the ground to Ramirez, who has only one play. That's first. Watch the Cubs take on the Brewers tomorrow night at 7:05. But be sure to get here early. The first 10,000 fans will get a Cubs deck of cards. Compliments of only Vegas. A lot of fans know Ryan Dempster. He's an amateur comedian and magician. Can do some card tricks. So maybe if you get that Cubs deck of cards tomorrow and you run into Ryan on the street, you can ask him to do a card trick.
Yeah, but be careful. He may make your deck of cards disappear.
But any good magician would make the cards reappear at some point. Kendall bounces to Ramirez, who throws him out. Ground ball pitcher has gotten 4 ground ball outs early on. Nothing.
Seats. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Definitely want to get out here and take advantage of this baseball weather. Took all summer to get to it, but the best nights we've had for ball games here at Wrigley are right now.
3 more to go on this homestand after tonight. Jake Fox back in the lineup. He had been scuffling And has been out of the lineup for the last week or so. But back in there tonight. Strike one. Other part of it is the Cubs haven't faced a lot of left-handed starters lately, and Lou decided last week to go with Bobby Scales quite a bit in left, and Michael Hoffpower as well. And I know there are some fans who've wondered, well, why isn't he playing Jake Fox? Basically, Bob, because his defense is not going to really help you. It hasn't hurt the Cubs that much this year, but he needs to hit to stay in the lineup. And when Jake Fox is slumping at the plate, it's probably not going to be in there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's no secret that Jake is not the most selective hitter in the world. He's a hacker. He goes up there and looks for something in that strike zone. Fastball, breaking ball makes no difference to him. But even for Jake Fox, he has been a little overly aggressive, chasing a lot of pitches, even in this sequence. First pitch fastball up above the letters, inside off the plate. He took a hack at it. I mean, that's what he is. He's an aggressive swinger, and you want him to keep that aggressiveness, but this needs to be a tad more selective. Make sure he gets pitches he can handle.
Third full count already for Suppan. Here's the pitch. Fought it off, and Lopez made a nice catch. So Jake Fox lines out to second.
Little floater out toward the right side of the infield. Lopez almost misjudged his jump right there. That ball was right up in the very webbing of his glove when he came down, but able to cradle it and make the play.
Now Jeff Baker's cooled off after a hot streak. Go for his last 12. Strike one. First time he's ever faced Suppan. Sam Fuld on deck playing center. If anybody gets on this inning, the pitcher will get a chance. Mike Cameron for out number 2. It will be Sam Fuld hitting 8. Pretty quiet here in the ballpark, isn't it?
As you mentioned, no wind. Feels like air is pressing straight down tonight. Fans are just kind of glued to their seats right now, just waiting to cheer for something.
Waiting for something to happen. Low for ball one on Sam Fuld. So brought back up for the last time on July 31st. He tied for third in the Pacific Coast League with 10 triples. It's a strike. The spider on your side of the booth has decided to come over to my side.
That's because I shoot him over there.
Okay.
We've got a couple of pet spiders in the booth here.
Friends. Ground ball up the middle. Lopez will backhand and throw out Sam Fuld. Don't worry. presented by Dex. Coming up tonight after Cubs post-game live, reaction from Hallis Hall on Brian Urlacher's injury. Plus, we'll hear from Jerry Reinsdorf on MJ's Hall of Fame speech. That'll be interesting. Join Mark and Pat for Sports Night, presented by Dex. Tonight after Cubs post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Check swing by Frank Catalanato, fouled it off. 0-2. Interesting speech. Interesting game last night, and a devastating injury to Brian Urlacher.
Ooh. A long way to go.
Yep. Yes, in the NFL, 1 week is like 16 games in baseball, if you do the math. Does that mean that they're 0-16 and the Packers are 16-0?
I don't think it works that way either.
Well, I guess. No, anyway.
I was watching the game last night at my daughter Lacey's place, and I had the windows wide open. Beautiful, beautiful evening, and all the neighbors were watching the game. And I swear Sando must have been in the neighborhood. So on every one of Jay Cutler's interception, oh no!
I'm terrible at math. It'd be like 10 games, not 16. Called strike 3 to get Catalanato.
What are you doing? Good backdoor breaking ball that time from Ryan Dempster. Just does catch that outside corner in the estimation of Hunter Wendelstedt behind home plate. That's the reaction you want to get from a left-handed hitter. You start that slider off the plate away. You want them to quit on that pitch thinking it's going to be outside, and then hopefully that break will take it right back to the corner.
A little different strike zone tonight than the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Suppan bunts. Dempster gets off the mound, and he'll flip the Lee in time to get Suppan. 5 in a row retired by Dempster. And 8 of 9 to start the game. Milwaukee went out and got Felipe Lopez in a deal with Arizona on July 19th because of the Ricky Weeks season-ending injury. Had left wrist surgery earlier this season. Lopez has put together a nice offensive campaign. See, hitting over 300 from both sides.
Overall season numbers coming into play tonight, a 308 average, but with the Brewers 320. 3 of his 9 home runs have come as a member of the Brewers.
Ryan Dempster has beaten the Brewers a lot. 10-3 lifetime, 2-1 this season. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And the next one, a straight fastball, and it's popped foul behind the Cubs dugout.
I've noticed Ryan Dempster using that 4-seam fastball a little more recently. His natural fastball is the 2-seam sinking heater that will tail down and away from the left-handed hitter, but when he wants to go up in the strike zone, that's when he seems to go more to that 4-seam fastball, holds its line a little bit more, maybe an extra mile per hour or 2 velocity-wise.
Rocks and fires. One drilled and caught by Jeff Baker. Lopez hit it right on the button, but for an out. Second 1-2-3 inning, and he still hasn't given up a hit through 3. No score. 16th and 17th, 2010. Rooms are available now by calling the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400 and asking for the Cubs convention rate. Weekend passes go on sale in early November. For more info, visit Cubs.com. Always good to plan ahead. I can tell you one thing, January 15th, not going to be like it is tonight.
I don't think so.
Probably be a foot of snow on the ground, and we'll be dreaming about this night.
Might be 70 or 80 degrees cooler than tonight. But it'll feel like baseball season when that convention starts.
25th. 2-0 to Dempster. It's a strike, 2-1. And not too long after that, we'll be in Mesa once again. Good to have Mayor Smith from Mesa, Arizona, in attendance tonight. I think next year will feel a lot different and back to normal. The Cubs played, what was it, 39 exhibition games last year, or this year. World Baseball Classic. They went on for a long, long time. Broken bat grounder to Lopez. That bat just completely shattered.
Well, even though it resulted in a ground out to second base, that's a pretty good at bat for Ryan Dempster. Anytime you can force your opposite number out there to throw 4, 5, 6, 7 pitches to get you out, you've done your job as a pitcher. Tent peg.
Terrio walked to lead off the bottom of the first, but was quickly erased on a 4-6-3 double play ball. Curveball is in the dirt. They'll get a new baseball for Suppan.
Starting the second time through the Cubs batting order. I mentioned first time through for Jeff Suppan. He's held the opposition to a 265 average. Second plate appearance in a ball game, it jumps up to 333. Third plate appearance rather, 340, and then on those rare occasions when he's reached a fourth plate appearance, a 429 average. I mean, the Cubs have seen Jeff Suppan so much, there's no secrets anymore. They know exactly what he's going to try to do to him. They know what his stuff looks like out of his hand. It's just a question of whether he can execute his pitches or will he make mistakes.
Lopez has been busy. That pitch looked very hittable. Looked like a pitch Ryan Terrio could do some damage on, Bob, but he saw a lot of breaking balls early in that at bat, and that has to affect your approach. I mean, that's right out over the plate.
Yeah, just a little tardy on that fastball, and look at the location on the outside corner at the knees. If you see a lot of ground balls to second base, that's a pretty good indication that Jeff Suppan is hitting his spots against the right-handed hitters in the Cubs lineup. Going to try to cut that fastball out there at the knees on the outside corner, try to sink it out there on the outside corner. He'll show inside from time to time just for effect, but he's going to try to get you out of the way.
Two 2-0 on Fukudome, and we've started to see that spin around swing creep back in. His hitting coach from Japan has been here the last couple of days. It's been a slow start to the month of September for Fukudome. For 12 on the homestand. The 3-0 is taken for a strike. is again. Nice play that time. The last 4 outs Suppan has recorded have been 4-3 outs. That one was a tough one. That cotton candy without even breaking stride. Today is the first anniversary of Carlos Zambrano's no-hitter in Milwaukee against Houston. And the question is, which left-handed batter made the final out? Now I know the answer to this one, and remember it was a splitter way out of the strike zone, but it was so nasty that night. It wasn't a big shock that the batter swung at it. I think it was a 3-2 pitch. Do you remember who it was?
No, I can't say
okay,
as I do.
It's a good question. Craig Counsell strikes out against Ryan Dempster.
Is he still on the roster?
Well, that would kind of take it away. Yeah. Yes.
Splitter that time from Dempster. Ball started right in the middle of the strike zone. It is such a tough pitch for hitters to recognize. I think I've told the story in the past. Tony Gwynn, the greatest hitter I ever caught behind, had a brief spell when he was having trouble figuring out how to hit the split finger. I mean, he was almost robotic. If you threw him a fastball away, he'd shoot it through the hole between third and short. If he tried to come in, he would pull it through the hole on the right side. But there was a brief period of time where he couldn't quite figure out what to do with the split-fingered fastball. And Tony Gwynn recognized pitches as quickly as any hitter I ever saw, but it didn't take him long to figure it out.
1-1 to McGee. Tap back to Dempster. 2 outs. Dempster has been on his game early. Big Prince fielder. It's got to be the biggest jersey in baseball, right?
I would think so.
It's baggy on him.
Doubles as an infield tarp.
Wow, it's big. Baggy pants. And a lot of power. Prince fielder, but he grounds out. And it's a 7-pitch fourth for the very efficient Ryan Dempster. Bottom 4. Anniversary of Z's no-hitter against Houston at Miller Park. Who made the last out? You're going to go, oh, that's right. Here it is. We'll show you. 1 year ago today. Darren Erstad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was a nasty pitch.
Way out of the strike zone, but well, I'll tell you, Z had it all going on last night. I did a couple of interviews today about Carlos's no-hitter against Houston at Miller Park last year, and it was very apparent early on in that ball game that he had his A++ stuff working against a Houston team that was a little down, to say the least, and rightfully so. And he took full advantage of the situation and dazzled that night.
All right, here's the addendum on the Aflac trivia question. The Astros had one hit the entire series. Do you remember who had the hit the next day?
Oh, man. Ted Lilly pitched that game.
He did.
Yeah.
Mark Loretta had the only hit for Houston that entire series. I wonder, I don't even remember if we talked about it after that series. Has there ever been another series, you know, of at least 2 games in which one team had only one hit the entire series? Derek Lee drives it the other way, and it's going to be gone. A home run. Wow. Kept going. Garrett acted as if he was going to catch it, and it got up into the first or second row for another homer. That's 7 over his last 10 games. And he gets to Suppan again for the 5th time in his career.
Our Heineken home run replay. He tries to go to that spot out there on the outside corner at the knees. The ball tailed back over the outer third of the plate. Boy, he is so locked in right now. Well, that's the same pitch. When you're not swinging the bat well, you try to pull it, you roll over, hit an easy ground ball to the left side of the infield. But when you're seeing the ball well, your swing is mechanically in a good place. That's exactly what you do with that fastball out over the plate.
So the Cubs grab the lead on a leadoff homer by Derek. Extend his hitting streak to 7. Bounced foul by Ramirez.
Derek Lee now 1 home run away from 100 here at Wrigley Field. Not this season. That would be a record.
It would. Called strike 3 on a fastball to get Ramirez. That's only the first strikeout for Suppan. Soto flied out to center his first time up. That's off the outside corner. Ball 1. Cardinals got 4 first-run innings. 4 first-inning runs against Florida. Matt Holliday and Ryan Ludwig, each with 2-run hits. Florida with 1 back in the second, but it's 4-1 Cardinals. High bouncer for Craig Counsell. As we look around baseball, congrats to Ichiro Suzuki, the first player ever with 9 consecutive 200-hit campaigns. Tampa Bay losing 11 straight. They're leading tonight. And Chris Carpenter snapped an 11-game winning streak. He took his first loss yesterday since June 30th. Earlier in that Braves series, Joel Pinheiro took his first loss since June 28th. The longest losing streak in the majors this season belongs to Tampa Bay. But they lead tonight at Baltimore 8-4 in the 6th. Carl Crawford with 3 hits.
You know, for Ichiro, 200 hits, that's not that big of a deal. He's had seasons of 242, 262, 224, 238. 200 is just a mile marker.
Willie Keeler had 200 hits in 8 straight years, but Ichiro breaking that record. Also, Tim Lincecum scheduled to be back on the mound tonight against the wild card leading Rockies. Lower back spasms and inflammation knocked him out of his last start. He leads the National League at 2.34 in the ERA category. It's because of Carpenter's rough day yesterday. A full count on Jake Fox. Fly to left. Coming over is Catalinato. He's there to make the play, and that's the inning. Derek Lee with an opposite field leadoff home run.
Bricks and Ivy at csnchicago.com, brought to you by Toshiba.
Thanks, Luke. 5th inning. Mike Cameron against Ryan Dempster now has a 1-0 advantage. Ryan's going after his 10th win. His 1-0 pitch, a slider, high part of the zone. Dempster's trying to join John Smoltz as the only pitchers to record at least 3 straight 20-save seasons, and then at least consecutive 10-win seasons as a starter. Elias looked into that. Dempster had 33 saves for the Cubs in 05, then 24 and 28 before winning 17 last year. Who thinks of that stuff?
Somebody with a lot of time on their hands and an affinity for numbers, which excludes me on both cases.
Dempster got a lot more support his last time around. 7 runs before he even took the mound. He was all right, 6 1/3, 4 runs, but won the game 9-4 at Pittsburgh on Tuesday. So this is his first start in 6 days.
Now, Ryan Dempster even admitted after that start that he wasn't as sharp as he had hoped to be, but when your offense puts a 7 spot on the board in the top of the 1st inning, really all you have to do the rest of the day is throw strikes. Good low strikes, let your defense work behind you, and that's basically what he did in that game.
Soto wants it low and away. It was up and away and fouled off. Now, he missed his spot there, but didn't hurt him. It was up, but it was still away. If it had been up and in or out over the plate, it might have ended up in the seats. That was right where Soto wanted it. 3-2. You always say if you're going to miss in your favor.
Ideally, that's what you like to do as a pitcher and a catcher. But pitchers are human. They're not going to throw every pitch exactly where they want to. The good ones do it more often than the bad ones, but even when you do make a mistake occasionally, the hitters are human as well. They're not going to hit every mistake out of the ballpark. Sometimes it seems like that.
3-2 slider way off the plate, but Cameron couldn't hold up. Thanks as always to the Menards grounds crew for taking care of this beautiful playing surface.
Boy, and it has played beautifully this season. We travel around to the other ballparks in the National League, and some of the stadiums and some of the playing surfaces haven't held up quite as well over the course of the summer as Wrigley Field.
And kudos to Roger Baird and his grounds crew, who also got that center field area cleaned up after the concerts in July. I don't think Roger got a lot of sleep in the middle part of July. Garrett bounces right side, Baker to Lee. Well, on the one-year anniversary of Carlos Zambrano's magical performance, Ryan Dempster has given up just one base runner. That was a leadoff walk in the second inning as he faces Jason Kendall, a guy who I'm sure Ryan enjoyed having as a teammate because Jason's a good catcher and a good guy, but also because he didn't have to face him. Kendall is 19 out of 47, hitting over 400 against Dempster. Jason Kendall earlier this year got his 2,000th career hit. It was on May 18th. Now in the top 5 on the all-time hit by pitch list.
Well, physically, Jason Kendall may not be your prototypical catcher, not as big as a lot of guys in the game nowadays, but I'll tell you, mentally and the way he calls a game, the way he handles a pitching staff, the way he rules that clubhouse, that is a prototypical catcher.
He and Mike Cameron are due to become free agents after the season. No guarantee they're going to be back. Trevor Hoffman did not want an option for next year because he wanted to make sure that he liked the situation and could handle being away from his family for the summer, but he said he'd like to be back with the Brewers next year, and it sounds like they would like him back too. He's had a really good year. Floater out into center, base hit. Well, if there was going to be a candidate to pick up a hit tonight against Ryan Dempster, it's that guy, Jason Kendall.
Well, not only because of the historic numbers that you mentioned for Kendall against Ryan Dempster, but just the style of hitter Jason Kendall is. Stands right on top of that plate, chokes up on the bat, just tries to make contact, never overswings at a ball. And the first hit of the game for the Brewers comes here in the top half of the 5th inning with 2 outs.
Delayed steal by Kendall. He gets in. And he's going to head to third. He had to jump over Ryan Theriot. And now the throw gets by. Kendall is going to hold there. Bob, I think Kendall may have been given third either way. I saw Doug Eddings pointing at Ryan Theriot as Kendall had to basically jump over him.
I think you're right. The defender's entitled to be in the baseline if he's fielding a ball that's batted. But other than that, you have to stay out of the way of the base runner. Yeah, that was a delayed steal all the way. I mean, not much Theriot could really have done about it. He's laying on the ground as he tried to get that errant throw from Giovanni Soto, and once Kendall had to jump over him, that's considered an obstruction right there on the part of Ryan Theriot, and Kendall would have been awarded third base either way.
And if he had gone right there, he might have scored. As the ball skipped past. So a stolen base and an error on Soto. There are 2 outs. And the 1-0 to Catalinato is low and inside. Dempster can work around Catalinato with Suppan on deck.
That delayed steal usually works best with a left-handed batter at the plate because the catcher can't really see that runner at first base. And the idea is you don't break immediately when Ryan Dempster delivers the ball to home plate. You take a couple of big crow hop steps off of your lead at first base, and when the ball gets into the hitting area, only then do you break for second base. The idea is maybe you catch the catcher dropping down to his shin guards after he receives the pitch. Maybe you catch the middle infielders dropping their heads as that pitch goes past the hitting zone. And that time Kendall pulled it off perfectly.
Right center. Full coming over. He dives. He caught it. He caught it. What a play by Sam Fuld to keep the Cubs in the lead. Stayed up just long enough for him to go get it. He's made a lot of these this year. Just saved a run. Woo.
Well, what a great play. I mean, we've seen Sam Fuld do it so many times. We should expect it by this point, but he had a long way to go to get to that one. And as you saw on our replay, kind of rolled over on that right wrist, but it looked like he was okay because he was giving high fives to everybody when he got back to the dugout.
So some shaky defense picked up by a great defensive play, an error in the inning. It did not come back to bite Ryan Dempster. Tap foul by Jeff Baker.
I mean, just the distance he had to run to get to that ball. It was sinking quickly, but managed to get the webbing of that glove underneath the baseball as he rolled over on his right wrist, held the ball up to show it to the umpire. What a play.
Two hopper played by Counsell.
Sam should get a nice round of applause here. His first at bat after that run-saving gem in center field. The daring young man on the flying trapeze, Gary Pressey. Wow, right on top of it.
Sam fall down.
Go boom.
Sam fold on his wrist. Well, this time he didn't crash into a wall. I guess that's one good thing. It was his left wrist that was bothering him last week. He's a left-handed thrower. It'd be that right wrist with the glove. But there's an art form to diving without hurting yourself.
You know, I never worry too much about Sam Fuld injuring himself because he's done it so many times. He's got such great body control. Even that tremendous catch he made at Dodger Stadium, crashing into the bullpen gate. He managed to get an arm up and turn his head and kind of protect himself against that fence. Now, he got some scratches out of it, but the damage was not nearly as bad as you would assume when a guy goes face first into a chain link fence. He's got great body control. Some other guys, however, when you see them leave their feet out there, you just hope they get back up.
Curveball got away from Suppan. Sam's worked a full count. Ever so slightly rocks back and forth on the balls of his feet. He gets ready to hit. He pops it up on the left side. Craig Counsell one hands it, 2 outs. Coors Light freeze cam, one more look at the great catch.
I mean, it took every bit of Sam Fuld's frame to get that glove out there underneath the baseball. Keep it off the grass, hold it up quickly for the umpire to see. No trap involved. Dempster loves it.
Way to go, Sammy. Suppan's been pretty good tonight. Giving up a solo home run to Derek Lee. That's it, as Casey McGee will throw out Dempster. Pitchers duel tonight. It's 1-0 Cubs after 5. Chicago area lesson. Tomorrow, the Monsters have Saints quarterback Drew Brees on the show, plus traffic, weather, and all the day's headlines. Monsters in the Morning with Mike North and Dan Jiggets. Tomorrow morning from 6 to 9, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. We get into the 6th inning. Game 1 of 4. And as we said earlier, 7 of the next 10 will be against the Brewers. Cubs have won 6 of the first 10. Suppan again is going to be thrown out. I think that's going to work for him tonight. Tried to bunt his way on the first time around.
Sometimes when you see that a player, or in this case a pitcher, has something he's dealing with physically that he doesn't really want to swing the bat. Suppan the second time attempting to put down a bunt for a base hit.
Switch hitting Lopez is 0 for 2. Kind of hard to remember, but the Brewers spent 45 days in first place between mid-May and early July. But they have not been above third since July 21st. Big shakeup in mid-August. J.J. Hardy was demoted to the minors. Cetus Escobar was brought up. Bill Hall was designated for assignment. They changed pitching coaches as Lopez finds a hole on the right side, and he's on with 1 out. Hey, Cub fans want to throw out the first pitch here at Wrigley on September 30th. How about taking some hacks inside the Cubs batting cage, or maybe playing catch with a friend by the ivy? Your friends at MetLife want to make that happen. Visit Cubs.com/MetLife to enter for your chance to win. Maybe Snoopy will be here.
I'll tell you, one of the great things, Len, that I remember about my playing days and my coaching days was coming to the ballpark before the fans got there and just playing catch with somebody. Listen to the ball crack in the glove and resonate off the empty seats at a ballpark. It's a special experience. I would highly recommend it.
It's also neat to look at this ballpark from a player's perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Stand on the diamond at a defensive position, just kind of look around and envision yourself playing that spot. Not quite as nerve-wracking with nobody in the park as it is with 40,000.
That was always one of my favorite things as a player, a coach, and a manager, was when we took extra hitting. And you'd always come out on the field at 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon. And I mean, in some cases, the ushers aren't even there yet. Maybe the grounds crew is there just waiting to fix the field after you're done hitting. But basically a completely empty stadium. Just something special about that. Of course, it's not good if you're playing a game that night and there's nobody in the seats, but that never happens here at Wrigley.
Council bounces it foul. He's had a very nice season. Career high 8 triples. He's tied for 6th in the National League. 84th start of the year for Council, 19th at short. Product of Notre Dame. Throw to first, gets past Lee, but Lopez won't try it.
I mentioned earlier, it's a good time for a double steal with a left-handed batter in the batter's box. It's also a good time for a pickoff, because the catcher has trouble seeing the runner, but also the runner has trouble picking up that catcher's first move as he wheels behind the hitter to throw to first base.
Council just turned 39, swing and a miss. It'll be interesting to see if he finishes his career with more triples or home runs. He has 39 of each. What would be your vote?
I'd guess triples.
I'm going to go with triples. He has 8 triples and 4 homers this season.
You mentioned the trade that brought Felipe Lopez over here to the Brewers earlier this season. It would have been very easy just to plug Craig Counsell in at second base and play him every day, but at 39 years of age, you can see he's very slight of build. And that wear and tear of playing every day tends to take its toll. You have to be very careful to give Craig Counsell some days off over the course of the season, and now they can use him in the utility role that he is so perfectly suited for.
3-2 runner goes, called strike 3, throw to second in time. Strike him out, throw him out, inning over. So Soto makes up for the error in the 5th inning by nailing Lopez. We like the strike him out, throw him out double play. And that's what the Cubs got.
Counsell doesn't usually take a called strike 3 when he knows that runner's on the move over there. Apparently he thought that pitch was inside. Soto's throw was just a little bit high, but a good quick tag by Ryan Theriot to get it down just before the runner got to the bag at second base.
One strike to the leadoff man tonight, Ryan Theriot. 1-0 Cubs on the leadoff homer by Derek Lee in the 4th. Including tonight, Cubs have just 21 games left. Under 3 weeks to go in the regular season. Good battle here. Ryan Theriot and Felipe Lopez on that singles list. Outside. Suppan is 34, 6'2", 230. Got a 4-year contract with Milwaukee before the 2007 season, so he signed through next year as a club option for 2011. Counsell shuffling to his left. A perfect throw to fielder for the out. Oh, big Cubs fan, and a rather famous guy. Vince Vaughn will conduct the 7th inning stretch coming up.
Big guy on top of him.
What's that?
A big guy on top of him.
Yeah, he is. Big guy with a big voice.
Bears are looking for a linebacker. That'd be their guy.
We should ask Vince. Star of the breakup, which had a lot of Cubs and Wrigley Field references in it. Want to know on Fukudome. Happy birthday to Joel Newell. Got a nice letter from big Cub fan Doug Pletcher in Riverside, Illinois. Doug Pletcher has sent out postcards to various people and asked them to sign it, write a little note on it. And he asked me to do the same, which I was honored to do. It says over 200 people have been interested enough to send cards back. Lauren Bacall, Yo-Yo Ma, Dick Enberg, Bob Newhart. And he sent me one, so I feel honored.
Come I think
you checked your mail today.
No, as a matter of fact, I did.
Tito Francona
wrote
back to Doug, one of your heroes.
Yo-Yo Ma's one of your heroes.
Yeah. You mean my mom or?
Yeah.
Oh. BMW ultimate drive of the game. Derek Lee's home run leading off the bottom of the fourth.
Boom. Boy, it makes a special sound coming off the bat when you get it right off the barrel. Full extension out there over the plate. And big home run hitters like Derek Lee, they make it look so easy to hit the ball out to the opposite field. It is not easy to hit a ball that far to the opposite field.
6-4 to 3 as he bounces into the inning-ending double play, and that's it for the Cubs in the sixth. They do lead, but by only one run.
Cubs and Brewers tomorrow night at 7, right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
So we're in the seventh. Seen some double plays for both teams here in the last inning. Casey McGee started a triple play earlier this month, and he leads off for Milwaukee and takes a strike on a slider. How about just a simple 5-4-3 around the horn triple play against the San Francisco Giants? Wow. Pretty routine, didn't it?
A nice play in the middle there. That feed to second base was a little low.
Leadoff single for the former Cub. Well, that's one of those triple plays where you sit there and you go, that's 3 outs? It looked like a double play. Step on third, step on second, step on first.
That's the way it has to be.
Yeah.
He has to lead that third baseman right to the bag. McGee was almost standing on third when he caught that ball. Now, they say a double play is a pitcher's best friend. I'd have to say a triple play is pitcher's fiance.
Foul by Prince Fielder. How about this oddity? If I have the math right, and I blew it earlier in talking about the football schedule, but I think you can only turn as many double plays as you can turn triple plays in a game, 1 per inning. You can't turn more than 1 double play per inning, right?
Right.
It'd be 4 outs. I mean, you'd think you could turn more double plays than triple plays, but just not so.
What about turning 2 double plays in an inning and have 1 out on a count? So when the next time they come up to the plate, they've already got 1 out in the inning.
There you go. I like it.
Would you like that on a gift certificate or on a count?
I'd like to see a team turn a quadruple play just to say they did it. Step on home, throw to third, throw to second, throw to first. Two to Fielder's way outside. Boy, Soto just able to flag it down. We'll see if they send McGee here with nobody out. Fielder walks a lot, but he can swing and miss too.
121 times on the season he's fanned. I mentioned before, he's not the kind of hitter that's going to cut down on his swing with 2 strikes and just try to make contact.
McGee is not running. Fouled back. Well, they already had a strike him out, throw him out double play that ended the 6th. They don't want to take themselves out of an inning in this spot, down only a run.
With a strikeout hitter at the plate and Casey McGee running at first. Casey has a lot of very usable baseball skills. Explosive base stealing speed is not one of them.
Ryan's been really good tonight. So has Jeff Suppan, who's actually given up fewer hits than Dempster, but the Cubs lead. Ground ball, Terrio to Ramirez, and he got him on the tag. How about a 6-5-3 double play? Not real routine, but it worked out.
But we've talked a lot about this over the course of the season. When you play that exaggerated shift, it creates some very unusual defensive opportunities. Ryan Terrio, the shortstop on the second base side of the bag, throwing to the third baseman covering second. And Ramirez with a nice relay on to Derek Lee, who puts the tag on Big Prince Fielder as he streaked by.
6-5-3. Good tag by Derek, and he held on to the ball. So Cameron bats with 2 outs and nobody on. And he takes ball 1. Two and 0 to Cameron. Well, I've talked to Alan Trammell, other infield instructors about, well, would you ever think about putting your third baseman over where Terrio was and leaving your shortstop in the shortstop's position? And it's intriguing, but I think the thought generally is The reason you put the shift on is because you think the batter's going to hit the ball to that side of the field. Now, fielder actually did in that spot, which forced the third baseman to cover. But Allen has told us they're going to work on that in spring training next year because it's not something you ever see in spring training.
Well, you're absolutely right. But I personally think there's some merit to leaving the shortstop on the left side of the infield and moving the third baseman to the other side, because the shortstop is a guy that has the best range. So let him cover the most ground on the left side of the infield. Plus, he's more familiar with turning a double play if you get one of those odd double plays like we just saw.
We can ask Tram about it again. I'm sure he'd be happy to discuss that play. I'm sure he was a part of many of them. Two to Cameron, ground ball to Terrio, back to playing his normal spot. Here comes Vince Vaughn with a stretch.
For the ball game is actor and Chicago native Vince Vaughn.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For if the old ball game. All right, Chicago, I love you. Let's get some runs.
Get a couple more here, put this thing away.
That would be a good thing. We saw you in L.A.
Yeah, I came to the one they won, the last one. With Dempster pitched a great game that day.
You know, Vince,
I love going there because whenever they put me on the Jumbotron, they always start with a little clap. And then I put my head down, I got the Cubs hat, and the whole place just moves.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I give you a lot of credit because it'd be very easy for you to kind of ride the fence. But you stick with your Cubs.
I stick with all Cubs fans. There's nothing easy about it, but you're a Cubs fan, you love it.
Big hand for you, as always, as you threw out the ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah. I was glad I got it over the plate and I didn't pull my back out. So those are two positive things that happened.
Must be a thrill for you to be on Wrigley Field in front of 40,000 or so. Is just a few minutes before the first pitch. You can feel the energy down there.
Well, like all people who grew up around here, this place is special. So it's always great just to come to a ball game and get a chance to get out there with everybody. Is a real treat.
Bob and I were talking off the air the other day.
Like you usually do.
Like we do. We don't just talk on the air.
Some people don't know that. That's good that they know that. They think when the air goes off, you guys are mad, you won't talk, you only talk to your assistants. But no, there's a friendship here, and that's important for Cubs fans to know.
But when you come to this place, and there's an edginess here because of the way the team is played, and we give everyone the right to feel frustrated, and I think every Cub fan has felt that way this year. But when you're ahead, when you're winning, when you're leading, I mean, the ninth inning on Friday and Sunday, if you just plopped down and didn't know what the Cubs record was, that's fair.
Missed this.
2 outs. You'd think it was for first place. So every 3 hours at Wrigley Field is like its own season wrapped into one. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, Cub fans, you know, they're the best. The Chicago fans in general are great fans, and they love their team, they love the sport. And I think when we do win it, which will be very soon, I hope, I think it'll mean a lot more because of that.
That will be a party that may never end.
That's right.
Oh, my.
I think the Cubs have great days ahead.
2 outs. It's Jake Fox. Lofted into left, and it'll drop in front of Frank Catalanato. Do you have a particularly favorite guy that you watch now? And I guess,
Boy, there's so many of them. Yeah. How about that catch there at center field?
Yeah, Sam Full.
Full was great, and Fox hustles. Dempster's pitching great. So I love Ramirez is fun to watch, and good to see the catcher back. Giovanni, he's great. So, I think like anybody, anyone that works hard, hustles, tries their best, it's fun to watch them play, right?
Bobby Scales is going to run for Jake Fox.
I was going to, but you gentlemen pulled me up here, so now I can't.
Right. Well, Bob wanted to recruit you to play linebacker with Brian Urlacher out for the rest of the year.
If you guys were working on a draft choice, that would be a good idea. If you wanted to secure the first-round pick, that would be a good plan.
Most of the big Hollywood stars we get up here, Vince, all they could do is maybe hold for an extra point, But I could see you with some pads and a helmet getting in there and knocking heads.
I would much more comfortable cheering on the sideline, perhaps painting my face.
I seem to recall in Wedding Crashers your football days.
I was going to make it rain. That's right.
Well, yeah.
I had a good sense of self, but it didn't go that well. That's right.
Well,
that guy did cheat a little bit.
He did a little bit. Yes.
But I said I was all state. I was going to make it rain out there.
So you have a new one coming out, Couples Retreat, and I saw the trailer for it. It's the most colorful trailer I've ever seen, and some exotic locations for your the scenes you shot, and it looks like it's a very funny movie.
It turned out really good. It's about a bunch of suburban couples from outside of Chicago that get to go to a place, and we shot it in Bora Bora. It's a kind of a Disneyland for couples retreat, and it all kind of goes a little sideways. So John Favreau's in it, of course, who I started with Swingers, and Jason Bateman's in it, and Kristen Davis from Sex and the City, Marlon Ackerman. It's got a great cast, and Peter Billings, who's been my best friend for a long time. He was Ralphie in Christmas Story. You'll Shoot Your Eye Out. He directed the movie, so he was a producer on Breakup. He directed this one. He did a great job.
And that comes out next month, right?
That comes out, October 9th, I believe, is the date.
Be checking it out.
Let's get one more.
Unfortunately, we may have some extra time on our hands in October that we were not planning
maybe
on.
not.
It's not over yet. 21 to go, including tonight. 2 balls, no strikes on Jeff Baker.
St. Louis got that Holiday trade, and they just kind of got hot, didn't they?
Yeah, he really added the protection that I don't know if anybody else could have added behind Albert Pujols. Matt Holliday's pretty good. I was trying to add on Derek Lee homered to lead off the 4th. That's been it for the scoring to this point. Do you have another favorite ballpark aside from Wrigley, Bob? And I do like Dodger Stadium, although Bob's a former Giant, so he normally loathes everything Dodgers. But he reluctantly admits that Dodger Stadium's a pretty cool place.
It's all right. There's nothing like Wrigley Field. I think I've been spoiled, growing up here. There's nothing like, you got the ivy, you got the rooftops, great tradition. So no, this is my favorite place to go see a ball game. I'm a baseball fan, but Wrigley's my favorite. Have you been in the new Yankee Stadium?
We have.
What'd you think?
It was nice.
It was?
It was nice. Yeah, they incorporated a lot of the old stadium in the new one, but with all the expensive modern amenities that you could possibly imagine for $1.5 billion.
And how about that new Cowboy Stadium? I guess the punters are having a hard time, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, they got the big scoreboard in play, basically. 4th walk given up by Jeff Suppan.
How has Sebastian done since he's gone to the Yankees from Milwaukee? Has he had a good year?
Yeah, he's had a really good year. The Yankees in general have had an excellent season. They have 92 wins. Chris Bosio, the former big league pitcher, named their pitching coach in August as he replaced Bill Castro.
Give us some insight here. You've been there. What are they talking about out there? What's going on? What's the conversation?
Probably just settle him down a little bit, break the rhythm, tell him, okay, make your best pitch on this guy right here. Keep the ball down, keep him out of the air. Let him hit the ball right at somebody. Usually it's all cliches.
Not talking restaurants, not talking places to eat afterwards, right? They're still in the game.
It's close
strategy.
Game.
That's right.
If it was 11-0, then hey, I got a reservation in Gibson's. Can you move this along, please? Start throwing strikes. Let's go.
Well, Vince, we appreciate in the breakup all the Cubs and Wrigley Field references. That certainly made it more enjoyable.
It was fun.
For guys like us.
Fun shooting. It was a lot of fun to shoot that opening scene here. We had a good time.
2 on, 2 down here in the 7th. That's a strike.
Hey, Vince, I noticed on your bio, you were the class president your senior year of high school. Now,
That's
I want
right.
to know, did you introduce any legislation to kind of enhance the high school
I
experience?
was so nervous. My grades were so bad. I've told this many times. I was so terrified I wouldn't graduate. And I saw that the senior class president had to give a speech at graduation, so I figured they can't fail me. They can't hold me back if I'm the president. And that's the only reason I ran. And no, I had no long-lasting legislation. No. But Lake Forest High School, where I graduated, good place to grow up.
0-2 on Sam Fuld. But with Vince Vaughn, Cubs lead 1-0.
2 on here.
You want to call it?
Oh, I got to give it to you. I enjoy listening to you. I'm just a fan. I'm rooting here.
You're a friend
Let's
of the
call
show.
it right here.
A little low.
Yep, that's good.
We've had one person who came up here and just took over the play-by-play, which was fine. Most people get real nervous.
Sure.
John Lovitz.
Lovitz had no fear at all.
Oh, man.
How did he do it? Was he accurate?
He was great.
That's good.
Yes.
Better that than taking over and steering the ship into the dock. You know what I mean, gentlemen?
He made up a new word, flowl.
Flowl.
Yes, a flowl ball.
A fly that goes foul.
A fly and a foul becomes a flowl.
I'm proud of him for that. I will not be taking that one, but I'm ecstatic that he did that.
We also had Eddie Vedder on earlier this year, and he wrote a song in the inning.
He did?
Yes, he did. I have it in my folder here, if I can find it. Yeah, in green.
Okay. And how does the lyrics go to Mr. Vedder's song?
D. Lee hitting in the green, biggest comeback that I ever seen. I see it coming, but if it don't, I might lose hope, but I know I won't. He wrote it in like 15 seconds.
I would not have guessed that from the way he rhymed those words. What was it, won't, and what was the other one?
Don't and won't.
I would have thought that taken at least a month. Perhaps he came prepared, and he made it as if, like, let me go off my thing. You know what I mean? He's a talented man.
He is.
And, some speed writing. A lot of fascinating things happen up here in the booth. I'm glad to learn it.
Swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. Vince, always a pleasure to see you.
Always great to see you guys.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing the new film.
Definitely. Good to see you, pal.
Good to see you, Vince.
See you guys down the
1-0.
road.
On select dates throughout the season. Tickets are $25, and a portion of the proceeds benefits Cubs designated charities. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Well, we get into the 8th. Yeah, don't worry. My homework's done. Bobby Scales stays into play left as Jody Garrett takes ball 1. The starters have gone the distance. Suppan and Dempster. Out in the left center. Scales got a late jump on it, but he gets there to make the waist-high grab. He lost it a little bit in the lights. Ball finds you when you come in on defense normally. And Scales makes the play. If you missed some of the action or you want to check it out again, go to On Demand from Comcast and you'll have access to Comcast Sportsnet Cubs games ready to watch on your schedule. To find out more, call 1-888-4-BEST-TV. Jason Kendall has one of Milwaukee's 3 hits. He got as far as third base, the only Brewer to get that far. But was stranded in the 5th. Now the play of the game, Sam Foltz diving catch to rob Frank Catalinato, who's on deck.
And this is one point of the ball game where a manager down there in the dugouts, just like a fan sitting in the stands. You look at that opposing lineup and you start counting. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Jeez, if we could go down 1, 2, 3 twice, we would avoid Casey McGee and Prince Fielder. We wouldn't get them to the plate until tomorrow.
And if he can go 1, 2, 3 this inning, he won't have to face Ryan Braun, who's at the top step of the dugout, getting ready to potentially pinch hit for Jeff Suppan. Talk about showcasing a pinch hitter, not even on deck yet. Put a big spotlight on him. Kendall grounds out. Low throw by Ramirez, dug out by Derek Lee.
I mentioned the numbers for Braun against Ryan Dempster, if indeed that's who he's going to face in this ball game from that on deck circle. 5 for 23. That's a .217 lifetime batting average against Dempster.
A roller. Baker can't get it, and Dempster will have to face Braun with a tying run on base. So the good news for the Cubs is Ryan Braun didn't start. The bad news is that let Ken Maka pick his spot to put him into the game, and a pinch runner for Catalinato, Jason Bourgeois, at first. So Bourgeois now the runner, and Ryan Braun the batter. Led all National League outfielders in All-Star votes. His 100th career homer and his 400th game on Friday in Arizona. Second fastest active player to get to 100. Ryan Howard did it in just 325 games. Good slide by Soto, keeping that runner out of scoring position.
The toughest ones for the catcher, to keep your upper body square as you get out there in front of that breaking ball in the other batter's box. And the tendency is to kind of turn your shoulders toward that first base dugout, and when you do that, the ball hits the chest protector and ricochets further up the first base line. But that time Gio was able to square up and block that ball straight down in front of him.
Action now in the pen. The closer, Carlos Marmol, is up. Bourgeois, former member of the White Sox, takes off for second, and the pitch hits Braun.
Look, that two-seam fastball started inside, just continued to run further inside. Looked like it caught Braun on the back of the left arm, maybe the left elbow. It's kind of odd to see that pinch runner on the move over there. Usually when you're going to fire your best bullet off the bench in a pinch hitter like Ryan Braun, you don't want to risk any chances of getting a guy thrown out and wasting the at-bat.
So Lou will head out. First visit of the inning, so he doesn't have to take out Dempster. If he does, he'll be asking Marmol to get the final 4 outs. The schedule.
The pitcher, you would have to bet on a double switch. The pitcher spot is due to lead off the bottom half of the 8th inning for the Cubs. And if you bring Marmol in, you're going to bring him in, as you said, for the last 4 outs of this ball game. So you would definitely want to make a double switch to make sure Marmol wasn't the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 8th.
So Dempster trying to get out of this 8th inning. Lopez takes ball 1 on a fastball. He is 1 for 3 in the game. The kick and the pitch. It's a strike. Kevin Gregg has just started to play catch. Right next to Marmol in the Cubs bullpen. The 1-1. 1-2. $38,725. And most are on their feet. Line and drop. But the throw to first in time as Ramirez able to knock it down and get Lopez at first base. So Dempster gets out of it with no damage. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 1-0. Cubs keep seeing him. He's still in the division. Back with Milwaukee for the second time. Mike Fontenot greets him with a deep drive to left. Just beneath the basket over Ryan Braun. It's a double for Fontenot as the Cubs try to add on.
Scary moment with that line drive off the bat of Felipe Lopez with a runner in scoring position, but Ramirez went up the ladder, was able to knock it down, still had plenty of time to throw on to first to get the out. And Lopez did what a lot of hitters do. When you line a ball right to a defender, he didn't run immediately, a little frustrated, and by the time he sees the ball on the ground, it's too late. Final out of the inning at first base.
Bunted by Terrio. That'll get the job done. McGee's going to throw him out. 5-3 on a sacrifice to put Fontenot at third. Time to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. Pitching and defense. Doing it for the Cubs tonight. One timely hit, the homer by Lee. But how about Ryan Dempster? And got the defense from Sam Fuld. 8 shutout innings. 4 hits. Nice stretch by Derek Lee on the double play. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. This inning moving along fast. Cubs aggressive here early on. Double, a sac bunt, and a check swing. And he went. Like a no-brainer, but Ryan Knight kept waiting. He was screened by Mike Fontenot as they were trying to get his opinion. Think those guys know each other, Dempster and Lilly?
Oh, yeah. Well, Ted Lilly's doing his homework for his next start against the Brewers.
These guys are attached at the hip. They've learned a lot from each other pitching. 0-2 on Fukudome. Derek Lee on deck. It's driven in the air. Cameron's got to go back on it, so the Cubs will get that run easily as Fontenot scores on a sac fly by Fukudome. RBI number 51 for Kosuke, and it's 2-zip. Nice job with 2 strikes.
Yeah, a rather ugly start to the at-bat, a check swing and then a called strike, but got a sinker up and out over the plate and turned it into a good at-bat. Drove that ball deep enough into center field for Fontenot to tag and score easily.
Run swing by Derek. I don't know why I remember this, but David Weathers has been Derek's nemesis. Derek is 4 for 26 versus Stormy Weathers.
That is so odd. I mean, Derek's a good hitter and has been a good hitter for a long time in his career. And David Weathers is a good pitcher, but he's basically sinker slider, moving the ball in and out, up and down. You would just think that the numbers would be slanted a little more in Derek's favor, but David Weathers has had the better of it.
A roller coaster affair in St. Louis. 7-6 Cardinals over the Marlins, who at one point had taken a 6-4 lead. Keep you posted. There's a base hit. Good to see Derek Lee with his second hit of the night. It's going for him right now. Doesn't matter who he faces.
Rare mistake from David Weathers. Left the pitch right over the heart of the plate in a 2-strike count to Derek Lee. Clean single into left.
Weathers was obtained from Cincinnati on August 9th. 19-year veteran. Fly to right. This is slicing. Garrett comes over. Still coming. Right at the ledge. A fan touched it. It's just a foul ball. Pretty rare to have a night like this. I mean, the entire night the wind has not blown really at all. As calm an evening as you'll ever see here on the north side near the lake.
Especially this time of year.
Ground ball, base hit. Two more tonight for Ramirez, who has 9 in the 4 games of the homestand.
See the location of that pitch, belt high inside part of the plate. David Weathers, whose calling card is his command of that sinker and slider, has made a couple of mistakes in this inning, and the Cubs' middle of the lineup has made him pay.
Job by the second base umpire, Doug Iddings, to get out of the way of that hard hit ground ball. They get an insurance run, and we go to uniform. Hall of Famer Fergie Jenkins and future Hall of Famer Greg Maddux. For a limited time only, Cubs fans can purchase their very own commemorative painting of Jenkins and Maddux. Each painting is signed by the artist and individually numbered. Order yours today at Cubs.com. New battery for the Cubs, Coy Hill doing the catching. Carlos Marmol doing the pitching. No bridge needed tonight between starter and closer.
A tremendous job tonight by Ryan Dempster. 8 strong innings of shutout baseball against one of the most potent lineups in the National League. Also a solid outing by Jeff Suppan for the Milwaukee Brewers. Gave up only the solo home run to Derek Lee tonight.
Craig Counsell, pretty patient guy at the plate, going to make Marmol work to get him out. 1 ball, no strikes. He swings at the 1-0. And he pops out to Baker. Check out the Feldco upcoming schedule. 3 more on this homestand, and then the final road trip of the season. 3 in St. Louis, 3 in Milwaukee, and 4 in San Francisco. Casey McGee takes a slider for ball 1. Slider low and outside. Don't want to walk him with fielder on deck.
No. Gotta force Casey McGee to hit his way on base if he's going to get on.
Let me over slider that time. He saved 9 in a row, including 8 straight since he jumped into the closer's role just under a month ago. 3-1. Lou was asked about whether Marmol has shown enough to go into spring training as the closer next year. He said yes. It's his job going into 2010. But Lou also said over the weekend he's got to throw strikes. All 4.
The thing you worry about most with Marmol and his lack of command, obviously, is putting runners on base via the base on balls and the incredible number of batters that he's hit by pitch this year. But also, that lack of command leads you to make mistakes within the strike zone. And when you make a mistake in that strike zone to a guy like Prince Fielder, that's not going to be a good result.
Well, especially in this spot, Prince is thinking one thing: give me a pitch I can drive out of the park. To right, got in on his hands. Fukudome over, has enough room, makes the catch. 2 outs. That's a big one. That is a huge second out.
Fukudome using every bit of that foul ground over there in right field, is back up against the pads as he makes the catch on Prince Fielder's high fly ball to right field. That was actually a good pitch, got in on his hands, jammed it.
Mike Cameron, strike 1. Close but didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-0 Cubs in the 9th. Now a strike away. Fought it off. Still 1-2. Just trying to end the Brewers' 3-game winning streak. Swing and a miss. They do. Cubs win. Marmol walks 1. But gets the save, and Ryan Dempster now into double digits with his 10th win as they take game 1 of this series 2-0.